Here's a funny little story for you. So, all my life I've been kind of clumsy. I've been a klutz. I knock stuff over, I bump into stuff, I drop stuff, I consistently hurt myself with tools. And one day, our one of our neighbors had just gotten a go-kart, and it was the hit of the neighborhood. All the kids were loving it, taking turns riding it, running around behind it, and they ended up in my yard. And I noticed that one of the rubber pads on the metal bars was flopping off. So I waved him down to stop, and then I saw they just needed a couple of tie wraps. So I went in the garage and got two tie wraps and tie wrapped the padding into place real good. Then I took my trusty buck knife and went to cut the tie wrap tail that was hanging off, and I pushed a little too hard and leaned on it, and when it cut through, the knife went straight through and stabbed myself in the calf. And the knife went in about an inch. It was a nice deep cut, and blood immediately started bubbling out and going down my leg and soaking my sock, soaking my sneaker. My daughter Rachel was there, and she was about 6 years old at the time. She ran in the house when this happened. And Christopher was there with me, and I said to Christopher, go get me a couple of shop rags out of the garage. So he grabbed two of them, and we took the first one and wadded it up and put it over the cut, and then took the other one and wrapped around it and tied it off to put pressure on the wound, which is how I learned to do first aid in the Army. Well, come to find out, when Rachel went inside, she ran up to Mom and said, Dad cut himself in the leg. And Rachel, I have a tendency of joking around, and Sherry said to Rachel, your dad didn't stab himself in the leg, he's just playing with you. And it made Rachel a little bit angry, and she stomped her foot and said, he did stab himself in the leg, and there's barbecue sauce coming out of it. So I think Sherry at that point realized that I really had been hurt, so she came outside, and I told her, I need to go to the emergency room. They're going to have to sew it up, it's not going to stop bleeding. So she brought me to the ER in Smithfield. Well, I didn't know it at the time, but they have a rule there that if there's a knife wound, they have to notify the police. So I'm sitting in there waiting for them to sew it up, and here come a couple of cops. And the cops come in and ask me what happened, and I said, oh, I was cutting the tie wrap and slipped and stabbed myself in the leg. So he turned to Sherry and asked her to leave the room and close the door. So Sherry left, and then whenever she left, he took his clipboard out and said, all right, now tell me what really happened.